Hey guys, and welcome back to Fringe Friday. As always, I am Carmen, and today we are watching season 4, episode 6, I believe, of Fringe. Last time we left off with sort of the aftermath of Peter's reappearance, resurgence, him coming out of the water, and we also had shapeshifters. They are human now, and now they have a serum from that doctor guy, which basically makes them undetectable. So, that's really not great. We also have Peter and Walter sort of circling each other. And Peter and Olivia, there's not really any resolution yet to Peter coming into a world, remembering another world, and now he's here and he doesn't know how to get back or how to make anybody remember him. So I'm really curious to see where that goes with Walter and Peter and with Peter and Olivia. But we've already seen all of that, so let's just see what happens next. Is this episode gonna make me cry? Vote now. Olivia.
I thought I'd gotten rid of you.
Oh, I don't think so. It took me 3 years to finally get you. You're not getting rid of me that easily.
Where'd you disappear to?
I was checking up on Walter.
Is this her dream?
You know what this is?
The perfect day.
Yes, the perfect day.
It's either his dream or her dream, or I don't know what's happening.
You can't ignore the problem, Peter. Ignoring him won't make it go away.
I don't understand. What's the problem?
You, Peter.
It must be Peter's dream. Yeah.
There's something going on, and we think it has something to do with you.
Okay. What is it?
We're not sure, but we think it has to do with time.
In what way?
Yeah, I'm almost done here and then we'll read together, okay? What are you in the mood for?
Is the little girl gonna disappear? Okay, I was expecting the little girl to disappear, but not like all of this.
Sarah, where are you?
Did the little girl turn into a baby? So like she went back in time and then snapped back to now?
It's not just deja vu. Some of them are reporting time loops.
I don't really know what that means. What is a time loop? Like Groundhog Day?
I assume.
Is that why you're taking me to Massive Dynamic to run more tests?
You think these time anomalies may be because of me?
Yeah.
So what's Walter's theory?
Oh, Walter doesn't have a theory. He's made it pretty clear that he doesn't really want to have anything to do with you.
It's because he's hurt.
So you really think I caused all this?
I don't know.
Well, I don't think it's your doing anyway. I think it's their love for you that's keeping you here. Or brought you back.
The outside wall had scorch marks that made a perfect circle. It's almost like the fire burned in the shape of a ball.
Fire marshal said that there was another fire here 4 years ago.
Well, that fits with what the woman was saying about her daughter becoming an infant.
So, we're thinking what? That this whole place flashed back to 4 years ago?
We need to get him back to the lab. I want Dr. Bishop to run those tests immediately.
Walter is refusing to do anything that involves him.
Dr. Bishop doesn't get to choose which cases he works and which he doesn't. It's his job to investigate fringe events, and until something suggests otherwise,
This is a fringe
he
event.
is a fringe event.
Oh, dang. I mean, somewhat, yeah, sure.
The subject can lower the arms.
The subject.
You can call me Peter.
Subject does not have an elevated radiation level, nor does it have any trace chemical signatures.
Just poke him.
It appears to be solid, not phasing in and out of existence. You can inform Agent Broyles that I have completed the examination, and I conclude that this subject is not the cause of the time-related phenomenon.
You couldn't possibly know that so quickly. If I was erased from this timeline and then thrown back into it, it stands to reason those two things could be related.
I'll be in my bedroom working on the problem.
He's had a lot of trauma in his life.
He lives here?
Yeah.
Since when?
Since I checked him out of a mental institution 3 years ago. Now, this lab is the only place that he feels safe.
He had a home. They did.
If you won't help me, I'll just do it myself. I think this has something to do with time displacement.
Okay.
I think that when I came back here, I somehow damaged the space-time continuum. And if that's the case, there may not actually be any rules to it.
I can't explain it yet, but as far as I can tell, these anomalies are just going to keep on increasing exponentially. I mean, if we can judge anything by the damage done by that fire in the apartment, these things are just going to keep on getting worse.
Okay, but then what are we gonna do? Because we're not giving you up, Peter. Okay.
Someday they're gonna make it big, and you two are gonna say you like them all along.
Dylan, this is my solemn promise.
Are you paying attention to the road? Because it doesn't look like it. That would be very trippy.
There have been 65 time slips in the past 72 hours, all of which occurred within a 40-mile radius of downtown Boston.
Agent Dunham, I was going to make a bologna sandwich. Would you care for one?
No, but thank you, Walter. I'm working on the case with Peter. We could really use you on this one.
I'd be happy to join you.
But
As soon as my lab is available to me again.
he is the same level of drama, to be fair.
Cosmology. I was just looking for that.
Walter.
It's okay. Just let him go.
It makes me so sad for Peter, though, and Walter. Like,
Can't even look at me.
he's scared too.
Seeing the adult version of the son that he lost? I mean, the visions he was having were unsettling enough.
What visions?
For weeks before you arrived, you were appearing to him here in the lab.
So he doesn't
You weren't
remember.
aware you were doing that?
No.
Must have been subconscious.
You were also showing up in my dreams. Almost every night. How's that possible when I'd never even seen you before?
Well, you did know him very well.
I'll come with you guys. If I'm causing some sort of cosmic disruption, then there's going to be heightened levels of alpha radiation, but I'm going to need more specific readings. The full spectrum of EM waves, not just the...
What just happened? He was in the lab and now he's here. Did you just time jump?
How did we get here?
We drove. You alright?
No.
He didn't drive, he just walked. He took a step.
I think I just had a time jump.
Yeah. Yeah, he took a step and he was there.
Transit Authority said their railroad line was decommissioned. The last train to run on that track was 4 years ago.
4 years.
Unfamiliar?
Fire in the apartment.
That's when Peter first met Olivia.
We might actually have the makings of a pattern.
Boston PD held a witness for us. Let's hope he's got something useful.
Every time I try to take a sip of my drink, he jumps. What? I don't think it's supposed to do that.
Hey guys, I got some.
What?
There are heightened levels of neutron radiation at the train crossing.
Why didn't you tell us that when we were at the scene?
Because I didn't know until I was just back there a second ago. It doesn't happen in nature. Cosmic radiation waves are random, erratic. Neutron radiation has to be generated by human technology.
Okay.
Somebody has to be causing these time events.
Okay. Who? And to what end?
Kate, you know, you don't need to remind me of things anymore. I've turned over a new leaf.
Is that right? After 30 years?
What would I do without you?
Is he causing it because something happens to her and he wants to keep having her in his life? And because he was looking at his watch and time was counting down.
Sure you'll get it, huh? Any day now.
So he's doing it somehow. Yeah. She must have passed away or something. So every however often he resets to go back to her, I assume. How? I don't know. Oh, so she's not dead, but something happened to her. You guys, I'm really sorry. I feel like she was on Fringe before. I could just be remembering her from Glee.
Regardless, the neutron pulse has to come from somewhere in the vicinity of these two time bubble events.
2 points isn't really very much to go on.
No, you usually need 3 points.
We just got 2 new reports.
Yeah, but look at it. It's still completely random to my eyes. There's no way to...
I am ready to present a theory.
Cool.
Snails, nodeless shells, ram's horns, these all have one thing in common. Fibonacci's golden spire.
I'll be damned, Walter. That's it.
I believe the source of these time slips must be located in the center of the spiral. You want to search a 3 square mile area in the vicinity of Brookline.
Oh, interesting. How's he doing it? Did she actually figure it out? Is that what she was trying to do? But how does he remember?
Those dreams that you were having, the ones that I'm in, were we in a park? Walter in a swing set?
What?
In
No.
the dreams, did you feel like you knew me? Did you feel anything?
You're a stranger, so what would I feel?
But he's not a stranger.
The one on differential equations.
Got it.
Raymond!
I need to show you something.
What is it? What's wrong?
I need to show you something.
What are you talking
No, just
about?
please, come with me.
Raymond, you're scaring
There's
me.
something you need to know, something amazing.
What is this?
I built it. From your work, I used your theories, your concepts.
Raymond, are you saying...
Time chambers are possible.
Okay.
It isn't perfect yet. It only works for limited periods. I got it up to 47 minutes now.
Oh, 47 minutes. Okay, so.
Raymond, what year is it?
2007.
No, what year is it out there?
2011.
Yep. Yep. That man, they saw that, right? He, like, just disappeared. I wouldn't go where he went.
I'm as close as I'm gonna get.
Yeah.
Spray the fingerprint powder towards the suspect area.
Yeah. There's something there.
There's no end to it.
This is a time bubble.
Well, how do we get in?
There's only one way in. We need a Faraday cage.
Okay.
It's gotta be mobile. Something that can block out the electromagnetic field. So that I can cross through and turn off whatever's causing this.
He's mad that he told him.
I know what a Faraday cage is, a baboon would.
I don't understand why this is
You
happening.
need to trust me, Kate.
Some things are supposed to remain
Listen.
theories. It wasn't meant to
Listen
be
me.
built. You don't understand
You
what
don't
you've done.
understand.
Tell me
We don't
why
have
you did it.
time.
Why did you do this?
Because he loves you.
Did something happen to me?
Yeah.
Raymond is an electrical engineer. Kate, professor emeritus of theoretical physics at Boston University.
Theoretical physics. Well, that makes sense.
She retired 3 years ago, early onset Alzheimer's.
I figured that's what it was.
Walter calls this the Walter Bishop Faraday harness. He wanted me to tell you that.
So how do I put it on? I'm the one who goes in.
And what are you gonna do when you get inside?
I'm gonna shut it off.
How?
Walter will talk me through.
We don't even know if the comms are gonna work in there. We need someone with a science background.
He's right.
Okay, Okay, they would not bring Peter back just to have him poof away again, so. I say that, but I'm still scared. It's fine.
Walter, he's in.
He's very smart.
Mm-hmm. He's your son.
They can't come in. It's impossible.
Well,
I already solved it. Upstairs, it's why I called out to you. I haven't written it down yet, but I have it.
so that's why it's 2007. Or 4 years. I was thinking it had to do with Peter, but it has to do with her. Oh my god.
Raymond, what have you done?
Yeah.
And then something changed. And then 3 days ago, I got results. And 5 minutes turned into 10. I got it up to 47 minutes. I know it can go longer.
It's over, Raymond. They're not going away.
We're not turning it off.
Don't make me hurt you.
No, don't. You can't. The entire city block will be evaporated along with all of us.
He's right. If it's not shut down properly, it will cause a rip in the fabric of space-time.
Then shut it down properly. An agent is already dead because of this machine, and right now there's a tunnel out there that's going to cease to exist, causing who knows how many more deaths.
What are you talking about?
They're repercussions. Repercussions I was afraid of.
Yeah. Did you not see the agent poof away?
I'll shut it down.
No, Kate.
On one condition. I want immunity for my husband. He didn't know. There's no way he could have.
Aww.
When you got sick, it happened so fast. And all the things that you were for me and all the things that you did for me, I didn't have a chance to be that for you.
This is sad.
I thought we'd have more time.
This isn't living, Raymond. Living is what's beyond this room, beyond this house, out there in the world where you're supposed to be.
And then if not this, how? How do I repay you? I mean, what better thing could I do for you than this? I'll never give up, Kate. Never. I'll build it again. I can do it again. We have your completed equation. You did it. Look, all you have to do is write it.
We have to move to another place.
Yes. Far away, yes. And I'm sure you'll find a way that people won't get hurt. I'll build it again. Build it again.
I don't know. I don't know. I can't read her character. I don't know what she'll do. If she'll actually complete it, or if she's just gonna let him think she's completing it. You know?
Alright, we're drawing up the paperwork, but I have assurances you will not be prosecuted.
I feel bad for him, because, like...
Yeah, I hate to break this up, but I held up my end of the deal. We're running out of time.
I understand.
I love you, Raymond.
I don't think she gave him the equation. Oh, did she take it with her? I don't know. Things shifted, so.
I have to go answer some questions now.
Okay.
In a few hours. I'll be back. Nurse will be here with you in case you need anything.
Yeah. That's what I thought. It's really sad.
Turns out it wasn't you causing these events after all.
Actually, I think it was. I think the only reason Kate's theory worked is because of my presence here.
Why do you think that?
Because I overheard Raymond telling Kate that he only started getting results 3 days ago. I arrived 3 days ago.
Yep.
Initially, I thought it was the timeline that had to be reset, but now I'm thinking that it's me. Clearly, I'm in the wrong place, and all the people that I know and love are somewhere else. Now I just gotta figure out how to get home.
In your debriefing, you said you were living in faculty housing with Dr. Bishop. I checked. And Dr. Bishop does own a home on campus.
Their house.
I was important to you, wasn't I? I mean, the other version of me.
Yeah.
Because I see the way you look at me when you think that I'm not aware.
Yeah. Yeah, she was. She is.
Well, I hope that you get back to her.
Me too.
Thank you. Me too.
It's at the end. Yeah. Oh. That was really fucking sad, actually. Okay, so first things first. I was mistaken. I looked it up after the episode just now to make sure, but I was just remembering her from Glee. She was not in Fringe before this episode. I don't know why I thought she was. She must have been in something else that I was watching. Castle, maybe? So, I don't know. Anyway, that being said, I really, really, really liked this episode. I think that the message of it is really poignant and very sad, but just very true to life. You never know how much time that you have with anybody, and I think it's really important to hold the people you love close and to really tell them how you feel and be there for them and allow them to be there for you while they are here and while you're here, because just nothing's guaranteed. And even if you live a long, happy, healthy life, which I hope for myself and all of you, it still goes by like that, you know? Like, I'm getting older and I think every year just goes by faster and faster, and just you can look back and realize it's been this long since you talked to this person, or this long since you called your mom or your dad or whatever, and it's really easy to get lost in the day-to-day of life. And this episode, I think, really tries to bring home for both all the characters in the show and the audience that, like, you can't get back lost time, right? So yeah, just really take advantage of the time that you have. Now, I worry because the sort of theme of this episode was I thought we'd have more time, right? Which, that line got me. It always gets me. We all think that, always, right? Anyway, I'm not going to get into it, but this is not about me. We're talking about Fringe. I worry what this could mean for Peter and for Olivia and everyone. I'm also very interested in the fact that Peter said that he thought that he had to reset time, like in this timeline, right? But now he thinks that there is an iteration, that this is rather an iteration of like time, and that he can get back to the timeline that he belongs in somehow. And maybe I'm not smart enough to understand what's going on, which is entirely possible. But I'm a bit confused. Obviously, I assume that the show will explain it to us at some point, and like we'll figure out how to do that. But yeah, it's interesting if that is what's going to happen, if Peter is going to be able to get back to our Olivia and our Walter and our Astrid and Broyles and, you know, all of that stuff. If we're going to get to go back to everyone that we've known for all these years. And this is, in fact, different versions of them, right? Like, these versions won't be replaced. Peter will just, like, go to the timeline that we know, right? So if that's the case, I think it's great and interesting and amazing that this is now another version of all the characters that we love. I mean, it already was another version, but I think that this episode really, for some reason, brought that home for me. And I'm like, it's amazing. One, as actors, how much they get to play in this universe, right? Like, they get to be so many iterations of their characters, which would be so fun as an actor. Like, you would just get to just have so much fun, like, trying to figure out like why this version of my character is this way and this version is this way, and like what's different. Like, do I have a different favorite movie? Do I have a different favorite show? Do I have a different, favorite book? Just things like that, which I think is really fun. And it also just gives John Noble, Anna Torv, like all the characters, or all the actors, excuse me, that play these characters that we love, a chance to just really show off how freaking talented they are. And I love that. So anyway, I'm interested in where that's gonna go. It also does break my heart a little bit more for, try not to cry, sorry, this iteration of Walter, because if Peter does at some point go back to our Walter that we know and love, and this Walter doesn't turn into that Walter, then that means that this Walter is gonna exist out there who lost both sons, like he lost his Peter and he lost our Peter. And that just that really hurts me, because I was hoping, like, seeing how hurt and broken this Walter is, that he would at some point, he would snap back into our Walter and he would have Peter and it would be okay. But if our Peter goes to, like, our universe again, somehow, our timeline, that means that this Walter still exists in some iteration of time, which means that he is gonna lose his son 3 times. Like, that really hurts me. Like, although now that we know that Peter might return to our timeline at some point, or the timeline that we understand and have seen for most of the show, then his dream maybe makes more sense, because is our Olivia somewhere trying to reach out to Peter in the same way that Peter was trying to reach out to this Olivia, and in the same way that some iteration of Peter was reaching out to Walter, right? It's interesting. I don't know. But that could, give us a conceptualization of Peter's dream and what it means if our Olivia is existing somewhere and trying to reach out to our Peter, because that just kind of makes sense, right? As always, Walter breaking my heart, I think he's really closed himself off to Peter emotionally, because I think that's the only way in which he can cope with having him here, right? I think that he can't allow himself to be happy or have hope because of what he's lost in the past. And it really breaks my heart for him. And the fact that he might lose this Peter too, like, no, I'm not okay. I really liked Peter and Olivia's moment at the end. I like that Peter kind of gets his and Walter's house back. I don't know. I thought that this was a really good episode, and I really like the message of it, of time is so fleeting, and once it's gone, you can't get it back. So you have to be careful and wise about what you choose to do with your time. Which I think is the great thing about being human, I guess. The great and terrible thing about being human is that we get this beautiful, incredible, crazy, insane sort of life, and it's so fleeting. But that's part of what makes it so beautiful. It is rare that the storyline of the characters that aren't our immediate characters is or does outshine kind of our characters. And I don't know that they were outshone, but I think that it was at least on par. And I think that that's rare. Like, I think Fringe has great side characters and great storylines, don't get me wrong. But I'm always sort of like, okay, but let's get back to like Peter and Olivia, because like, or Walter, you know, or Astrid or Broyles, like, you know, people I know and love and want to see. But this episode really, they captivated me, like Raymond and Kate and their story. Really, it hit me right in the feels. And I think that if there's somebody that you love, it doesn't have to be a partner. It can be a parent or a friend, but somebody that you just love so much and you feel like your life would just be so horrible without that person. I think that this episode will affect you in that same way, because it's just horrible to think of your life without that person. And it's understandable that you would be willing to do whatever it took to bring them back to you and to bring them back to life, right? So, yeah. Fringe just getting me right in the feels, as always, really. Anyway, I don't think that there's a lot more that I have to say about this episode. 10 out of 10, absolutely loved it. If you want, you can watch the entire full-length reaction to this episode right now over on Patreon. You can also watch my reaction to the next episode right now over there as well if you are watching this on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for watching. The fact that you're spending some of the time that you have on this planet with me honestly means a lot. Thank you so much. I hope to see you again next week for more Fringe. Until then, bye guys.